Do you think I'm like just that hard to work with? Can't nobody control me. For one, I ain't just out there doing no bullshit, but the fact that you trying to control a grown man, nah, I'm cool.
They don't want to pay him because he's older and decline.
And human nature is kicking. Y'all don't want me, I don't want to be here.
Okay.
Right.
I just say that he should show up. He could ask for more. Listen, you show up and you show up for your teammates.
I will compete. That's one thing that I will say. So you won't say that I'm out there not playing hard.
In the world of NBA stardom, few falls from grace have been as dramatic as Jimmy Butler's recent saga with the Miami Heat. Once celebrated as the heart and soul of South Beach basketball, Butler's relationship with the organization has deteriorated faster than a Miami summer storm. But what most fans don't see is the intricate web of events that led to this breaking point. There's a hidden story behind Butler's transformation from Miami's hero to its perceived villain, one that we'll uncover as we dive deeper into this analysis. The numbers tell a stark story. Butler's scoring has plummeted to 16.1 points per game, a shadow of his playoff heroics that once electrified the FTX arena. His efficiency has dropped, his explosiveness diminished, and his signature fourth-quarter takeovers have become increasingly rare. Yet, there's something even more concerning about Butler's decline that nobody's talking about. But we'll get to that revelation later. The tension began brewing when Pat Riley, the Heat's president and basketball operations maestro, laid down specific criteria for Butler's desired contract extension. The requirements seemed reasonable on paper: maintain health, show consistent availability, and perform at an all-NBA level. However, here's where things get interesting. Sources close to the situation suggest there was more to these negotiations than what met the public eye. The relationship between Butler and Riley reached its boiling point during last year's playoffs. Riley's stern message to Butler to shut his mouth about trolling the Celtics while sidelined with injury sparked what would become a months-long Cold War. But what's truly fascinating is how this conflict mirrors a pattern in Riley's handling of aging stars. A pattern that holds a crucial lesson for every NBA front office. Speaking of patterns, there's an unprecedented detail about Butler's contract situation that hasn't been reported anywhere else. This revelation might explain why several NBA executives are privately monitoring this situation with unusual interest. We'll unveil this game-changing information as our analysis unfolds. For now, it's worth noting that Butler's push for a $50 million extension at age 35 isn't just about money. It's about legacy, respect, and a power dynamic that's as old as the league itself. As former NBA champion Paul Pierce recently noted, this situation in Miami isn't just about Jimmy Butler, it's about the future of veteran star contracts in the NBA. Let's dive into the numbers that tell the story of Jimmy Butler's dramatic decline, numbers that paint a picture more concerning than even his harshest critics might expect. In the first 8 games of the season, Butler's statistics read like a mid-tier starter rather than a max contract superstar. 16.1 points, 4.9 assists, and 4.4 rebounds. While shooting 48% might sound decent, there's an alarming trend in these numbers that most analysts haven't noticed yet, one that could reshape how teams approach veteran contracts. We'll explore this hidden pattern later in our analysis. The availability issues have become impossible to ignore. Since early November, Butler's game-time appearances have resembled a stop-motion film rather than the consistent presence Miami needs. November 8th against Denver, ankle sprain, out for 4 games. December 2nd after Toronto, load management for a tweaked knee. December 21st, another ankle problem followed by an illness, missing 5 more games. Speaking of injuries, sources within NBA training circles have revealed a fascinating insight about veteran player durability that could explain everything about Butler's situation, but more on that bombshell later. When we compare these numbers to Butler's peak performances, the contrast is striking. During Miami's 2020 finals run, he averaged 22.2 points and dominated in clutch situations. In the 2023 playoffs, despite Miami's underdog status, he delivered multiple 40-point games. Now, he struggles to break 20 points consistently. But here's what makes this decline particularly intriguing. It's not just about the numbers, the advanced metrics tell an even more compelling story. Butler's player efficiency rating, PER, has dropped from 23.5 to 18.2. His box plus-minus BPM has plummeted from plus 5.9 to a concerning plus 1.2. These aren't just statistics, they're warning signs that several NBA front offices are studying closely. In fact, multiple team analytics departments have identified a troubling pattern in veteran star declines that perfectly mirrors Butler's trajectory. Looking at his January numbers specifically, the decline becomes even more pronounced: 11.4 points, 4.6 assists, and 3.2 rebounds. His plus-minus has crashed to a negative 5.8, ranking him 420th in the NBA. To put this in perspective, these numbers place him in the company of role players, not franchise cornerstones. The most revealing statistic might be his fourth-quarter performance. Once known as Jimmy Buckets for his clutch scoring, Butler's fourth-quarter points per game have dropped by 47% compared to last season. This decline in crucial moments has forced Miami to rethink their entire late-game strategy. What makes this statistical nosedive particularly fascinating is how it compares to other stars who face similar crossroads at age 35. The data suggests a league-wide pattern that few are discussing, one that could fundamentally change how teams approach veteran contracts in the future. The PR battle between Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat has evolved into a masterclass in media manipulation, with both sides trying to control the narrative. The latest flashpoint? A seemingly mundane paycheck delay that mushroomed into a full-blown controversy. In what could be the most calculated PR move of this saga, reports emerged about Butler's delayed paychecks, a story that initially seemed designed to paint the Heat organization in a negative light. The team quickly clarified it as an accounting error that took 10 days to resolve. However, industry insiders suggest there's more to this story than meets the eye, particularly regarding the timing of these leaks. The full impact of this strategic move will become clear as our analysis unfolds. Enter Chris Haynes, arguably the NBA's most transparent agent whisperer. His regular updates about Butler's situation have become a textbook example of agent-driven narrative shaping. Through carefully timed exclusive reports and strategic leaks, Butler's camp has attempted to position him as the wronged party. But here's where it gets interesting. Sources close to several NBA front offices have revealed a fascinating pattern in how star players' agents are evolving their PR strategies. This emerging trend could reshape how future NBA contract disputes play out in the media. However, Butler's PR strategy has hit an unexpected snag: the fans. Despite his status as Miami's playoff hero, the fan base's response to his recent behavior has been surprisingly tepid. The same supporters who once celebrated his Heat culture mentality now question his professionalism. As one prominent Heat season ticket holder noted, "You can't claim to embody Heat culture while simultaneously undermining it." The team's approach to this PR battle has been notably measured. Rather than engaging in public rebuttals, the Heat organization has maintained a strategic silence, letting Butler's on-court performance, or lack thereof, speak for itself. This approach aligns with Pat Riley's long-standing philosophy of handling internal matters privately, a strategy that has served the organization well through previous star player disputes. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this PR war is its potential long-term implications for the NBA's player empowerment era. The way this situation unfolds could set precedents for how future disputes between aging stars and their teams play out in the media landscape. Several league executives are watching closely, as this case study might provide valuable lessons for managing similar situations in the future. The Miami Heat's locker room dynamics add another layer to this story. While Butler's teammates have maintained public support, behind-the-scenes reports suggest growing frustration with how this situation has affected team chemistry. This internal tension creates a fascinating subplot that could influence how other teams approach veteran star management in the future. As 2024 unfolds, Jimmy Butler's situation in Miami has reached a critical inflection point, with his January performance raising serious questions about his future value. His numbers have dipped to career lows: 11.4 points, 4.6 assists, and 3.2 rebounds per game. What's particularly telling is his negative 5.8 plus-minus rating, a statistic that has NBA front offices reassessing his potential trade value. Industry insiders have noted a dramatic shift in how teams view Butler as a trade asset. Just 6 months ago, he was considered a premium acquisition target. Now, sources suggest his market value has plummeted to levels that would have been unthinkable during last year's playoff run. There's a fascinating development regarding Butler's trade market that few have noticed, one that could completely reshape his future prospects, but we'll explore that revelation shortly. Memphis and Phoenix have emerged as potential landing spots, but here's where things get complicated. Both teams face significant challenges in constructing a viable trade package. The Grizzlies, dealing with their own roster uncertainties, would need to navigate complex salary matching requirements. Phoenix, already heavily invested in their current core, would have to perform salary cap gymnastics to make a deal work. What makes this situation particularly intriguing is how it's affecting the broader NBA landscape. Several league executives have privately expressed concern about a potentially league-altering precedent being set by how this situation resolves. The outcome could fundamentally change how teams approach trades for aging stars. The financial implications extend beyond just Butler's immediate future. At 35, pushing for a $50 million extension has become a litmus test for veteran player valuation. NBA financial analysts have identified an emerging trend in how teams are approaching these high-dollar, late-career contracts, a trend that could revolutionize future contract negotiations. Perhaps most concerning for potential suitors is Butler's recent pattern of behavior. His on-court performance since the contract dispute began suggests either a dramatic decline in ability or, more worryingly, a deliberate scaling back of effort. This has created a unique challenge for interested teams. How do you accurately evaluate a player who might not be showing his true capabilities? Looking ahead, the implications of Butler's situation extend far beyond this season. Teams across the league are watching closely, knowing that their own aging stars might soon face similar crossroads. There's a compelling reason why several front offices have already begun adjusting their long-term strategy based on the Butler situation, a development we'll explore in our final analysis. The Heat's handling of this situation could become a blueprint for other organizations facing similar challenges with veteran stars. As one anonymous NBA executive noted, this isn't just about Jimmy Butler anymore. It's about the future of star player management in the NBA. The parallel between Butler's situation and Shaq's 2008 Miami exit reveals a telling pattern in NBA history. When Shaq departed, his subsequent contracts with Phoenix and Cleveland became infamous examples of overpaying aging stars. Now, Shaq defends Butler on national TV, ironically advocating for the same type of contract that later marked him as one of the league's most overpaid players. Pat Riley's methodical approach with aging stars, from Mourning to Wade, demonstrates his skill in identifying the perfect moment to part ways with franchise icons. This isn't personal with Butler, it's Riley's proven business strategy at work. The evidence is clear. Butler's era as a primary option is ending. While Memphis and Phoenix show interest, the cost-benefit analysis doesn't favor a major investment. The Butler saga teaches us that timing veteran departures is crucial, emotional decisions often backfire, and the star-team power dynamic is evolving, especially regarding late-career contracts. Teams looking to trade for Butler must consider whether his diminishing production justifies his salary demands, a gamble that history suggests rarely pays off. If you've stuck with this analysis, you clearly value deep NBA insights. Hit subscribe for more breakdowns like this one. Drop a like if you want more coverage of star player situations. Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you risk trading for Jimmy Butler? Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video where we'll dive into another fascinating NBA story that's reshaping the league.